Part of our motivation for doing this series is the real life problems that we've encountered as we work with our families. Things go wrong. Without planning, we know that things are probably not going to happen the way that you want them to happen. So I have 3 cautionary tales I'd like to share with you, again, from my own experience working with people that I know. If I asked you, what is your current estate plan, you'd probably say, I'm just leaving the property equally to my kids. And that's a great concept, but there are real problems with that. One family I was working with had a farm. There were 4 children, 3 daughters and a son. The son works with dad for 20 years on the farm. Doesn't get paid very well, has kind of subsistence living, but he helps build the farm and farms with dad for 20 years. The 3 daughters marry well, move away, financially successful. Mom and dad die, and the property's left to the 4 children equally. So 3 daughters now come back. Do they want to continue farming with the son? Of course not. Can the son afford to buy them out? No. Is there any plan in place to let the son continue to farm and maybe share ownership with the daughters so the son is protected? No. And so that property was sold, and the son is now driving a truck. Probably not what dad wanted to have happen when the son was working beside him for all those years. This is a tale of 2 sons, and also about the fair isn't necessarily equal. Again, here's a company, very successful in our community. We have an older son and a younger son. The older son has worked in the business for the last 20 years. In fact, he's run the business for the last 10 years, has taken it from a very small company to a very large, successful company. Dad dies and leaves the stock to mom. The younger brother hasn't had a job because he has all kinds of problems. And so now mom is in charge of this company. And so they have a meeting, and mom says, well, son, you've done a great job running this company the last 20 years, but I think it's time to let your younger brother take the reins. Well, this isn't going to work because the younger brother doesn't have a clue about how to run this very successful, very large company. Mom does not see the difference. In her mind, being fair is equal. Everybody has to be treated the same. So ultimately, 6 months later, we had to sell this company because it just could not be run anymore the way mom did. Now, does the oldest son, who's built the company and has all this sweat equity, does he see anything of this? And the answer to that is no, because mom owns all the stock. The income came to her, and chances are that probably the younger son, who needs more help, is probably going to receive the lion's share of this. The older son had to go find another job. So that older son is now selling real estate, and the rest of the family is doing other things, but they've lost this family connection, this family business that held them all together and provided a great resource to the community. Fair is not necessarily equal. I have a family I'm working with that there's 5 kids, and mom and dad worked to put a plan together and then passed away suddenly. And so the kids really, for the first time, are dealing with this plan after mom and dad are gone. And so even though they know this is what mom and dad wanted to do, they have a real hard time because kids are equal. They're the same. And so who's going to be in charge? How are they going to make decisions? All those kind of basic things about these folks are now, they're not only just brothers and sisters, they're now business partners. They didn't choose to be partners, their parents chose it for them, but they didn't give them any tools to be successful. And that's really, really important. This family, again, these people are very successful in their own right, they own businesses, but they get together in a room, and it's really funny to talk to them because they revert back to middle school. They're 14 again, because that's the last time they spent any time together as a family. They walk out of the meeting, they're all embarrassed about how they acted, and people cried, and they got mad at each other because that was the last time they spent any time together. They didn't know each other as adults, and now they have to work together not only as brothers and sisters, but as partners, and it's a completely new relationship. If mom and dad were still around, they could have mediated those discussions and helped negotiate the fights and get people going in a pathway together. It would have been so much easier for the family. They may or may not make it, but it would have been a lot easier if mom and dad would have been around to help them through it. These things don't have to happen to you and your family. What I've learned is that failing to plan means that you're planning to fail. The earlier and the quicker you work on this stuff, the longer you spend at it, the more chance you're going to have of being successful.